Muslim couples. Please join for the lighting the traditional oil lamp.
पाता बिरमनी सिक्खापदं समादियामि මේ හැටවුන් මේ පසුගිය කාලේ යුද්ධයේදී යුද වැටුණු අපේ සෝදාස්වෙක් සහ LTT එක වෙනුවෙන් සටන් වැදෙන කාන්තා මිනිලා විවාහ ජීවිතයකට ඇතුළත් වෙනවා. අපේ හමුදාවේ ඒ හමුදා බත්‍යා සහ LTT එක වෙනුවෙන් සටන් වැදෙන ඒ යුවතිය දෙන්න අතිලත් ගැනීමේ ඡායාරූපය ඔබ දකින්නේ. මේක තමයි හදවත් එක්වීම. අපේ ජාතීන් අතර අපේ රටේ තියෙන මේ ප්‍රශ්නේ මේ විදිහට සුබවාදීව ගමන් කරන බව ඉතාම සතුටින් දකින්නට ලැබෙනවා. භවතු සබ්බ මංගලම් රක්ඛන්තු සබ්බ දේවතා සබ්බ බුද්ධානුභාවීන සදා සොත්ති භවන්තු තේ භවතු සබ්බ මංගලම් රක්ඛන්තු සබ්බ දේවතා සබ්බ ධම්මානුභාවීන සදා සොත්ති භවන්තු තේ භවතු සබ්බ මංගලම් රක්ඛන්තු සබ්බ දේවතා සබ්බ සංඝානුභාවීන සදා සොත්ති භවන්තු
वागर्था विव संवृत्तौ वागर्थ प्रतिपत्तये जगत पितरौ वंदे पार्वती परमेश्वर. அனைவருக்கும் வணக்கம். எல்லாம் வல்ல இறைவனுடைய தனிப்பெரும் கருணையினாலே இலங்கை ஜனாதிபதி மாண்புமிகு ராஜபக்ஷ அவர்களுக்கும் இன்றைய தினம் இவ்விழாவிலே தலைமை தாங்கிக் கொண்டிருக்கின்ற இலங்கை தூதரகத்தின் ஹை கமிஷனர் டாக்டர் கிரீஷ் நோனிஸ் அவர்களுக்கும் இவ்விழாவிற்கு வருகை தந்திருக்கின்ற உங்கள் அனைவருக்கும் வாழ்விலே எல்லா நலன்களும் கிடைக்க முதற்கண் பிரார்த்திக்கின்றோம். 64 கலைகளையும் இலங்கை நாட்டிலே ஒன்றிணைந்த சுதந்திரமடைந்து 64 ஆண்டுகள் நிறைவு பெறுகின்றன. இலங்கையிலே வாழ்கின்ற அனைத்து மதத்தை சார்ந்தவர்களும் ஒருவருக்கொருவர் அன்புடனும் மனித நேயத்துடனும் எல்லா நலன்களும் பலன்களும் பெற்று பல்லாண்டு வாழ வேண்டும் என்று இந்த தருணத்திலே எல்லாம் வல்ல லண்டன் ஸ்ரீ முருகப்பெருமானை பிரார்த்தித்து உங்கள் அனைவரையும் ஆசீர்வதித்து இந்த விழாவிலே கலந்து கொண்டதை பெருமையாக நினைத்து விடைபெறுகிறேன். நன்றி, வணக்கம்.
சன்னோ அஸ்து திவரே சஞ்சதுஷ்பதே ஓம் சாந்தி சாந்தி சாந்தி. ஆனந்தோ பிரம்மே திவ்யஜானாத் ஆனந்தாத் தேவகல் விமானி பூதானி ஜாயந்தே ஆனந்தேன ஜாதானி ஜீவந்தி ஆனந்தம் பிரயந்த விஷம் விஷந்தீதி. ஓம் சதமானம் பவதி சதாய புருடஸ்யேந்திரிய ஆயுஷ்ரேவேந்திரியேன் பிரதிதிஷ்டதி. ஸ்ரீ வள்ளி தேவசேனா சமேத லண்டன் சுப்பிரமணிய சுவாமி பிரசாத சித்திரஸ்து சுபமஸ்து.
Today we have gathered here to celebrate the 64th Independence Day of Sri Lanka. Now that there is peace in Sri Lanka, the people of Sri Lanka has undergone tremendous hardship throughout various processes. I do not need to go in detail about the many progresses and the difficulties the members have gone through. All we have to do now is to strive hard in order to progress and develop. The excellent work done by the Reconciliation Committee is now completed. And I was glad to be at the meeting organized by the High Commissioner on this occasion. I hope there will be further meetings, but the recommendations should be implemented so that many will be much more happier to see how the progress is taking place. So I would now recite a prayer for prosperity of Sri Lanka and for the whole community. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الرحمن علم القرآن خلق الإنسان علمه البيان الشمس والقمر بحسبان والنجم والشجر يسجدان والسماء رفعها ووضع الميزان ألا تطغوا في الميزان وأقيموا الوزن بالقسط ولا تبصروا الميزان والأرض بلاها للأنام فيها فاكهة ونخل الأكمام والحبة الأصفر الريحان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان صدق الله العظيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين.
God, our loving Father, you are the source and origin of all this creation. This marvelous, mysterious universe is your own creation. You are the creator and the author of this mysterious universe. We thank you for this beautiful universe. We thank you above all for creating us humans as the peak and flowering apex of this beautiful, mysterious universe. We thank you for giving us this beautiful island of Sri Lanka, which is our motherland. Continue to bless our country, bless all our religious leaders and political leaders who make history in humankind in Sri Lanka. Guide them, Lord, always, and enlighten them so that they continue to respect the human dignity of everybody, irrespective of their races and religions and creeds. We thank you for gaining independence through the political leaders of that time for Sri Lanka. Help us to cherish and appreciate and admire the honorable work, the efforts that they have done to gain independence for Sri Lanka from Britain. Continue to bless all of us, guide us so that we turn out to be true human beings, genuine men and women of integrity and dignity as human beings in our country and as citizens of our motherland wherever we are.
ආණ්ඩු පත් කරන්න තියෙන අයිතිය අපි ආරක්ෂා කරන්න බැඳිලා ඉන්නවා. ඒකත් මතක තියාගන්න. මොන කවුරුවරින් ආවා. ඒ අයිතිය උදුරා ගන්න ඉඩ නොදීම. අපි සියලු දෙනාගේ වගකීමක් අපේ වගකීමක්.
be Sri Lankans all through our lives, and we will try to make things right for our land called paradise.
Reverend members of the clergy, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to say a few words today on the 64th anniversary of Sri Lanka's independence. As you know, we gained independence in 1948. It was the year following India's independence. But of course, it's useful to know that we actually achieved universal suffrage 17 years previously, in 1931. And we have a very proud tradition of democracy and development in our country. And we have always maintained national sovereignty and pride in our national sovereignty. We have a proud 2,500-year heritage, and we continue to maintain that. Of course, throughout the years, since independence, like many other countries, we have had our challenges and constraints. But we are a resilient people, and we are a strong people. And one index of that is how we overcame the challenges of the tsunami back in 2005 and 6. Another area, of course, was this bitter and internecine conflict that we had for the last 28 years with the autocracy and the hegemony of terrorism. But finally, in May 2009, under the leadership of His Excellency, President Mahinda Rajapaksa, we finally achieved peace in our country. And we now have a historic opportunity to make that transition from developing to developed nation. But the speed of this transition, ladies and gentlemen, depends not only on the indigenous people of Sri Lanka, but it depends very much on all of you within the diaspora who are present here today. It also depends on how we work even with the community in which we live here in Britain, the British community. So I think it is fundamentally important that we all together here realize that the diaspora plays an enormous part in ensuring that the peace we have fought for is a durable one. I'm so happy to see all of you here today. I know it's a very cold day. A lot of you have come from so far away. But why are you all here? You are here for the same reason I am here, because we are proud to be Sri Lankan. Tamil, Sinhalese, Muslim, Burgher, Malay, Buddhist, Christian, Hindu and Islam. We are all one, and we are all Sri Lankan. And that is why I have such joy in seeing all of you here today and giving you this address. Each of us has an enormous part to play in the regeneration of our country and the rebuilding of our nation. Since I took up my tenure in September, so it's almost 6 months now, and I've been really heartened by the number of projects I've seen, the events I've attended from the diaspora community, from all of you, to see how wonderfully you are beginning, or you are working together with each other, irrespective of class, creed, race, or religion. It's also so wonderful to see how you are beginning to also engage with Sri Lanka's Renaissance. I recently visited Sri Lanka. I went up to Bavaniya, Kilinochchi and Jaffna. I've seen the reconstruction and rehabilitation and the reconciliation process that is taking place in the north and east in the conflict-affected areas. I think also it's so wonderful to see the development that is seeking to bridge the urban-rural divide. I've seen the port in Hambantota, and we now have the development of the airport in Mattala. I recently went on the southern highway down to Galle. It's so wonderful that we are now embarking on this process, because the growth that we are enjoying is a pro-poor growth. It's a growth with equity, and it's a growth that seeks to bridge the urban-rural divide to ensure that the dividends of peace also accrue to the poor people within our country, so that we can all be partners in this economic growth and in the wonderful dividend of peace that we have fought so hard to achieve. I think what we need is the spirit of reconciliation that we are now seeing. We need the spirit of acknowledgement, actually forgiveness for each other, to reach out to each other as brothers and sisters. It's so wonderful to see, particularly within the communities here, all the little developments that are taking place and the initiatives and gestures that are taking place in our country. We also need really to move forward, and as I think some members of the clergy said, to see how we can encourage technology transfer, see in what capacity, I think Mr. Maulavi here mentioned, to see in what capacity each of us, as professionals and non-professionals, can contribute towards Sri Lanka. If you look at Sri Lanka today, after May 2009, if you look at it today, we've got a GDP, we've got a very conducive macroeconomic environment. We've got a GDP growth rate of over 8% quarter on quarter. We have single-digit inflation, single-digit interest rates. We're narrowing the fiscal deficit, and we've got historically high external reserves. Our sovereign bonds have been several times oversubscribed, which is an independent index of the confidence that the international community has in our country. We are billed to host the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association Conference later this year, and we are also going to host the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting in 2013, something we extensively worked for, both within the High Commission here, then at the Foreign Ministers meeting in New York, and subsequently at the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting in Perth. And it's so wonderful that Sri Lanka will be hosting it in 2013, when 54 heads of government will be attending and coming to Sri Lanka. That, ladies and gentlemen, is a wonderful index of confidence in the Sri Lankan narrative today. So what we need to do is to reach out to each other. What we need to do is respect each other with our differences. We cannot change each other. We cannot change each other's backgrounds, nor should we endeavor to. What we need to do is respect the differences in each of us, respect each other's diversity, because it is only when we respect each other with our diversity that we provide each other with dignity. And it is only when we provide each other with dignity that we will ensure that the peace is a durable one. So it is in that spirit that I address you all today. But before I finish, I must also thank our Deputy High Commissioner, Mr. Hamza, for the sterling work that he has done in the last few years to get all the communities together. And we wish him enormously well in his next appointment in Germany. I suppose Britain's loss is Germany's gain. But I take this opportunity to congratulate and to thank him for the sterling work he has done, and also Mr. Samane Kanayaka, who has also recently gone on to another post in Sri Lanka. So it is in that spirit, ladies and gentlemen, that I speak to you today. Each of you, each of us here in the diaspora can play our part, and we should be playing our part. The challenge I put out to you for the next year, let us be proactive. I ask each of you to take 10 of your friends, 20, even 100 of your friends, not only Sri Lankan, but especially the British friends you have. Bring them out to Sri Lanka. Encourage each of you, as I'm sure 10, 20, 100, a few hundred British friends. You know we have had some adverse media publicity in the last few years. But when one actually goes to Sri Lanka, you see the enormous and wonderful things that are going on in our country, little of which is known here in Britain. And what you can do, the most enormous thing you can do, is to encourage people, not only Sri Lankans, but particularly the British, to come out to Sri Lanka and see for themselves the sincerity, the honesty, the kind-heartedness of the Sri Lankan people today. And that is something that I encourage each and every one of you to do. Because it is only then that people will be able to separate fact from fiction. It is only then that people will remember truly the sincerity, the kind-heartedness of the Sri Lankan people. So, before I end today, ladies and gentlemen, I must say that I feel enormously proud and enormously happy to see all of you here today. And I think we should all be proud of ourselves. I think we're a very wonderful race, I think we're a resilient race, and I think we will continue to do good work in the future. I feel enormously proud today to say that I am Sri Lankan. I'm not Sinhalese or Tamil or Muslim or Burgher. I am Sri Lankan. And I think that is the spirit in which we should go forward to build a pluralistic and inclusive society so that we all build a better future, not only for us, but more importantly, for our children and for our children's children. Because our children's children, ladies and gentlemen, are the future of Sri Lanka. So on that note, I wish you a happy and peaceful and prosperous 2012 and look forward very much to working with all of you. Thank you.